Well, an intriguing game, but not the outcome the Creighton fans were waiting for. This is the Bluejays podcast brought to you by Pepper Jack's Grill, Pyramid Contractors, and the Coach's Corner brought to you by Sinovation. Tonight, Creighton assistant coach Trey Zeigler will join the show just here in a minute. Jimmie Allen and Casey Matthews with you here tonight. And Casey, I mean, obviously a 1-point lead for Creighton at half doesn't end up the way that the Jays fans wanted this or needed this to go. Creighton falls to stop me if you've heard this one again. To Providence in Rhode Island again tonight, 93-88. And the real difference in this entire game was the ability for Providence to rebound and the inability of Creighton to stop anything in the paint.
Yeah, I mean, it was that second half was really, really bad, and to get down like we did, and there's a lot of different areas to go here in terms of breaking this one down. If we just hit specifically on the rebounding, yeah, I mean, I think I'd have to look at the actual second half stats. You might even have them.
Well, so Creighton got out rebounded 29-10 in the second half. Oswin Arunze had 13 rebounds by himself, and it just felt like anytime they missed tonight, he was right there to clean it up.
Yeah, was it 29-10? I had 30-15. Either way,
sorry, that might have been with 3 minutes to go.
Yeah. I mean, we were beating them on the boards, I believe, in the first half. So to come out and lose the rebounding battle overall, it's brutal. It's been our Achilles heel to me all year, and the issue is, if you watch, I know Jimmy, you like to listen to John, when you watch the game.
Yeah,
I was listening to the TV broadcast, and Emeka Okafor was continuing to talk about the zone, and yes, the zone without question got them out of rhythm.
Yeah,
the problem is it's really hard to defensive rebound out of the zone, especially against a team that is a good offensive rebounding team, that's physical, that's athletic. It becomes very troublesome because you can get stops because you get them out of rhythm, and they were totally stagnant in the zone. They really struggled to get the ball against the zone. You have to get the ball to the high post. When you get the ball to the high post in the zone, most of the time the defense will end up just matching up, and you can play the rest of the possession in man. And they really struggled to get the ball there. They're kind of playing a little bit of ring around the rosy. We were able to switch on any kind of screening action they tried to put in at the top of the key. It really worked for us until it didn't. And then it was time to rebound, and then they would seemingly secure the rebound every possession. They had putbacks, they had kick-out threes. But then the times that we did secure a rebound, we took a really quick shot on our end.
And a really poor shot selection. Not just because it was missed, just hurried or never looked settled in. I mean, I texted you about that Josh Dix shot at the end. Not the one that he made to cut it to a 3-point game, but the one with about 1:14 left where he clearly traveled, took 3 steps, and never dribbled, never put the ball on the ground, never stepped into the shot. And I mean, that was kind of the story of the game. I mean, Providence had a game plan. It's really the game plan that's been working all season. Be physical against Creighton. Don't let their shooters set their feet. And it's going to be a long night for the Jays.
Yeah, and look, it was a really poor shooting night from Austin too. And credit to Providence, but some of that was just, you're not going to hit shots every night. And he really struggled tonight. When a guy that you rely on so much for your offense goes 1 for 13 from the field, it's going to be a difficult night for you offensively. But back to what I was saying with that zone, it was just, when you get into a zone and you accomplish what we accomplished, which was getting them out of rhythm, the other thing that happened was they weren't taking shots until later on in the shot clock. That shortens the game. When you're down 10, 11 points, you need as many possessions as you can. You don't want to shorten the game in that situation.
No.
You want to make the game longer. And so I'm never going to –
look how this game ended. I mean, they had a shot at the end,
And I'm never going to question Mac and the staff in terms of that. I mean, I think we were doing a good job keeping them off rhythm and forcing tough shots, making them miss the first one. But I do feel like it shortened the game, and it really ended up hurting us probably long term because of that. And so that one's difficult, but overall, I think it's just a lack of scoring on behalf of Austin. I mean, look, Providence was really good offensively, over 1.2 points per possession offensively. And We were supposed to have Matt DeMarinis with us. He had something else come up, but he was texting me and said, "Dude, their 2 leading scorers haven't scored, and they're still killing us offensively."
And Jalen Sellers obviously fouled out early, and that didn't help him either.
Yeah,
and he went 0 for 7 tonight.
to play that, like to play against this team again, the things that if I told you on paper we'd have before the game, you'd take them and you think we'd win, and we didn't end up winning. Jones was really good. How do you say, is it Vox? 24
Vox.
Points tonight.
Yeah, Stephon Vox.
The 3 he hit against the zone was huge. He only hit 2 of them, but
it was really the closeout. Yeah, it was really the closeout. Listen, Jimmie Jones, anybody doesn't know, is a true freshman. If they could keep him in Rhode Island, man, that dude is going to be a problem for a lot of teams going forward. He was spectacular tonight, the true freshman.
Really good player, 18 and 11. The one to me, though, that was or I don't know, Jimmy, so bad with names. Number 55, they're big man. And 14 and 13, but he had some really big offensive rebounds.
Oswin Arunze, by the way.
Arunze, I'm gonna try to remember that. But I thought he was really good for them tonight. Just really a all around really good effort from Providence at home. And again, it is a very hard place to play, but you can't use that excuse. Like other teams have gone in there and won. We didn't get the job done tonight, and we can look at a lot of things. I think Austin's poor offense tonight. I thought Isaac was,
even with all that. Arunze was just the difference, man. I mean, he was just bigger. He was more physical inside. Nothing against Jason Green. He just couldn't hang with him. I mean, he grabbed 13 rebounds on his own. He had 4 personal fouls that were never bad fouls. 13 points, 14 rebounds, a double-double in a situation where basically got whatever he needed in the paint, whether it be offensively or rebounding, and just was the more physical body inside. It was the difference tonight.
Well, we gave up 25 points from the free throw line, and they missed 10.
Yeah.
Just was not a good night.
I tweeted about this, and listen, if Creighton would have won this game, if Creighton would have dominated winning this game, I'd have the same opinion. This was the worst officiated basketball game I've ever seen. I mean, even on both sides. Yeah, both sides.
Really?
I mean, that non-call where Karam went up to the rim and literally got landed on top of his head by another player, and there was no call. There was also a play on the other side where Ty Davis literally ran into the guy holding the ball, ran into him. They just called a loose ball out of bounds. It was on both sides. Like, this isn't a homer take. Mm-hmm. This was terrible on both sides. And you know me, Casey, I very rarely publicly talk bad about officials. This was uncharacteristically bad tonight.
Yeah, it was a rough crew. I mean, Matt Potter is probably the best official on that crew, and it wasn't great. I try to watch when games get like that, and I'm questioning the officiating. Yeah, I try to watch Mac because you can usually tell.
Buddy, Mac, he was beside himself tonight.
There are a couple calls he didn't like, but overall, I think he kind of felt like it was going both ways. It was 23-24 on the fouls.
Dude, listen, for the last 8 minutes, he didn't walk away from the official. He was really close to getting teed up.
Yeah. You think so? I didn't.
Oh, absolutely.
It didn't seem like that to me, but yeah.
John Bishop was calling it out on the broadcast too. I mean, he was working the officiating crew pretty hard. But I mean, when you look at the box score, I mean, 23 personal fouls for Creighton and 24 for Providence. Like, they called a bunch of stuff that wasn't a foul, and they missed a bunch of stuff too. So it's not like they were just overcalling or missing certain. It was just bad on both sides.
Yeah,
but
it was
not that, and I'm not saying that's why Creighton lost tonight. I mean, I think Providence was clearly the better team, specifically in the second half. But man, it just made the game really tough to watch.
Yeah, I mean, I think for this Jays team to be able to be to win games like this when the other team is being more physical, especially on the road, it has to come from consistently hitting shots from the perimeter. And that, to me, that was the difference maker tonight, because when you're playing against a set defense and trying to get downhill, teams know to beat us, you're going to have to try to force us off the 3-point line, because the interior scoring isn't our strength. Obviously, Jason was phenomenal tonight, but a lot of times you can loosen some of the stuff up by hitting 3-point jump shots, and we just didn't do it enough. I mean, he ended up hitting 10 of them, but for this team, I don't think that's enough. I mean, this team needs to be hitting 12 to 13 to be in there.
And I guess we're kind of bearing the lead a little bit too from the Jays side of things, because Jason Green did have a fantastic night, specifically offensively.
Yeah,
Yeah, he had a career high 26 points. He was 8 of 10 from the field, 9 of 11 from the free throw line, grabbed 7 rebounds, but it was just the other guys that you needed to step up. Austin Swartz, 1 of 13 from the field. We talked about it after obviously his offensive output last year. He's the most important offensive player on this team. He can't go 1 of 13 from the field. He can't go 4 of 13 from the field, in my opinion. He's got to be able to hit at a higher clip than that. And Nick Graves looked just outmatched at times physically tonight. And obviously Blake Harper was getting very frustrated with the foul calls. I mean, he finished with 16 points tonight, but he had 4 foul calls. In case, I hate to keep beating the dead horse. I think 3 of them were probably not fouls.
Yeah. I'd have to go back obviously and see that. I agree with you though. It wasn't a very good officiated game. I thought, like you said though, I felt like the calls were bad for the most part on both sides.
Yeah, for sure.
There's a few that you wish you could go back and get that call reversed, but for the most part, I felt like at least it was bad on both sides. I don't think you can leave that game going, we got cheated or the referees won that one for Providence at all. And again, I just always believe like you can't leave a game in the hands of a referee and expect to be happy with the result. So, I think if you really dive in, like offensively, we talked about it in that first half. The last 10 minutes of the first half, were huge, and we were
an 11-point lead.
Yeah, we were so stagnant offensively. We stopped cutting. To me, we looked really sharp early on. Our passing was good. We were applying pressure on the rim, and then we stopped. And there were a couple of possessions in the second half where I felt like we were able to get into the lane, play inside-out basketball. But for the most part, it felt like we were content on the perimeter. Even a couple times just forcing bad shots, taking shooting on the first side instead of reversing the ball. I liked when we got to some of the pick and roll stuff. We were able to get downhill, get the ball to Jason above the rim. Like we have to apply pressure on the rim, and it's very hard when you don't have a true above the rim threat. We've talked about this a few weeks ago. When you're playing on one plane, okay, it's very like this offense isn't designed to do that. This offense is designed to play vertical, but also, this offense is designed to be inside out, but also have a vertical threat on the ball screen. And it's just not something
they tried it twice tonight. They tried it twice tonight to Jason, 3 times, excuse me. And the first time
we had the one dunk,
and then the next 2 times it just got picked off in midair.
Yeah. And it's hard because one, we don't have a guy like we had in the past with the big fella that we could just throw it up to, and he knew he was going to go get it. The pass has to be more precise when you're passing it to someone like Jason. We hope that Karam could be that guy. He doesn't seem to be that guy. And then Owen didn't even play tonight. So it's something where
we're going to be joined by Creighton assistant coach Trey Zeigler here in a minute, and we'll ask him Owen Freeman's absence tonight. Clearly, the Providence student section had noticed he didn't play tonight either, but for him that missed it, they were chanting Owen's name as the game clock expired. But that's unfortunate if it got to a situation where they have to shut him down for the year. Nobody wants to see a guy not be able to finish out the last year of his eligibility, not on the court. But there was a couple scary moments tonight from an injury standpoint too. Jason rolled his ankle at one point. Ty Davis didn't come back in, I don't believe, after tweaking his ankle pretty bad. So
thought it was interesting though that Ty come in? Didn't he finish?
He come back in? He may have.
I probably did, but
Jason for sure.
Thought it was interesting that we started Nick Graves in the second half. And we just talked about that the other day on our show.
I honestly don't like. To me, it's a non-story. And I get what you're saying. Like, I just think those two guys have been so easily interchangeable throughout the game that if one starts over the other, I just think it's the same thing. You know what I mean? If Ty's going to start and get 9 minutes, I don't know what he finished with tonight. 13, yeah. But I was just throwing a number out there. If he's going to start and get 9 minutes, and Nick's going to play the rest of the game in that position, is Ty really the starter? Right. Type of thing. Like I just think that those two guys, and listen, hats off to both of them for managing that situation too, because a lot of point guards are divas, and they don't have to be as cordial or as good of teammates as they've been. I think they've handled like total pros.
Yeah. No, I mean, you're right. I think it is interesting though, because we talked about it on the show of, that our resetting expectation show is like, to me, that's the one position that this team could still make a change in the starting lineup. And look, I love what Ty's given us, but it does feel like it might be time. I mean,
to go back to Nick.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean,
that injury
he had played 13 minutes, had 0 points, didn't take a shot, and had 1 assist. Like, it's one thing to say your point guard, well, you don't need him to score. You don't not worried about shooting. Well, if that's the case, and they need to be, higher up on the assist numbers, 5, 6 assists. It's really hard to trot a guy out there that's not going to shoot, not going to score, and not going to get others open looks, especially when defensively it's not like he's been necessarily a shutdown guard. So looks like Trey's jumping in. Let's get him in here. What's up, Trey?
What's going on?
Hey, Creighton assistant coach Trey Zeigler joins us here on the Sinovation Coach's Corner. Coach, obviously not the outcome you guys wanted tonight. Leading at halftime, what did Providence do that was so different in the second half, in your opinion?
Their physicality. I thought offensive boards. They came out that first 4 minutes and really made an effort with their toughness and their intensity, and I just think we didn't match it. Starting that first play, I mean, they came out, they were super aggressive. They get the jump ball, and that just kind of started and triggered the rest of their run.
Do you feel like, Trey, that's going to be what you guys are going to have to face here on out? Like, it seemed to me like the last couple of games that we've really struggled, it's been because we weren't able to match physicality, and it does seem to me like that is, I don't know if it's the recipe, but that is what teams are going to try to do, is to be the more physical team, punk us out on the glass, and beat us that way.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, obviously, that's not one of our strengths. So when you run into teams that are more athletic, more physical, I thought the freshman Jameer Jones, his physicality, obviously Osmond on the boards. I thought when we went zone, we struggled to rebound out of that. So just we got to find a way to finish plays. I thought we got stops, but you got to capitalize. You got to, when you're on the road in an environment like this, it's, we get, as much as we've said it, we're a young group, but Mac also said at the game, we're 20 games in. And so our mental breaks, our mental mistakes, at some point we can't keep making the same mistakes.
We've talked about it a lot, and the lob threat that's kind of been missing from this offense this season, obviously replacing a pretty big piece from a year ago in the middle. But it felt like you guys tried going back to that tonight to Jason. Obviously it worked early in the game, not as successful later in the game. Is that something that you guys are going to try to incorporate down the stretch?
Well, when we can. Obviously, we don't want to get away from that. We always want to look for that. That's one of the keys to our offense, putting pressure on the rim. We were able to do it today just because of their drop. Osmond being back there, where they play that deep drop, and that allows, if you can get behind them, some lob opportunities. But yeah, obviously we want to get back to that as much as we can. But Jason's also 6'7", 6'8", so that's not always there every game.
Trey, I want to go back to the first half. Felt like the first 10 minutes, our cutting, our pace was really good. I felt like we were passing the ball really well. The last 10 minutes of the first half, to me, are really what turned this thing around. And it felt like we just got comfortable just sort of playing ring around the rosy. We weren't putting pressure on the rim. I didn't feel like we were cutting as much. The offense just looked like it really slowed down. I know you haven't watched it back. Am I wrong? Like, what did you see in that first half that maybe you guys tried to fix and couldn't quite get it fixed?
I would say lineups. Josh getting foul trouble, Nick's in foul trouble, limited ball handlers. So it kind of created a lot of one-on-one, which you're right. I thought the first 10 minutes we played great. Thought the ball was moving. Thought Blake's minutes. Oh, I just lost the lights. I thought Blake, the first 4 to 5 minutes in his stint, he was really moving the ball. He made some plays. So I thought the ball wasn't getting stuck. And then we get to the second half of that first half, the second 10-minute segment. And we just kind of, because of Josh's foul trouble, because of Nick's foul trouble, I thought Austin kind of struggled as well, which kind of hurt us as well. but he's been so good down the stretch the last 4 or 5 games. So you got to kind of roll with the punches. He had one bad one. So I think those things all accumulated to that.
On that same volume, I mean, you mentioned it, obviously 20 games into the season, and you could see it physically on Jason Green. His shoulder's taped up. He rolls his ankle tonight. Everybody's hurt, obviously, at this point in the season. But he has a career night tonight, and he goes off. For Jason Green finishes the night tonight with 26 points. What have you seen from him from a growth, even from the beginning of the season to this point, that led to that type of performance tonight?
Grit, toughness. I think things that he didn't even know he had in himself. When it comes to that area, we're seeing him mature in front of our eyes. Even for him to come in after that sprained ankle, like Casey had talked about it, we were joking about it a few days ago. Just when his redshirt year was like, there wasn't anything Jason was fighting through. So to see that grit and toughness, it's unbelievable, man. And we're asking a lot of him. Obviously, he's played the 3 last year. He's playing, started the year at the 4. Now he's our starting 5 man. So his versatility and just his maturity, man, I think it's really cool to see him grow into this role he's created.
Well, yeah, he was really good, and you hate to see a guy go down with an ankle like that. Hopefully, he's okay. To come back next week. But Trey, I want to go back again. This time, I'm going to go second half, and I want to talk specifically about the zone. I was texting Jimmie. To me, yes, the zone worked. It kept them out of rhythm offensively. There's no question about that. But we weren't able to finish consistently with defensive rebounds. The other part of that is you really shorten the game. Because you're keeping them from taking their shots until 6-7 seconds. Is that the 6-7 thing my kids like to do? Shots on the shot clock, and so you're bleeding the shot clock. Then they're getting an offensive rebound, and then they're able to take it down again. But I felt like, Trey, we really compounded the issue offensively because then we were taking quick shots. So it was like we knew we had to score because you're down. But also you're letting so much time bleed off the clock in that zone. So it's like it worked, but it didn't. Can you talk, like, where's the line there? Like, what were you guys talking about? We need to get out of this to try to force tempo. Like, what were the conversations like?
I think we thought the zone we were getting stopped, so we were really stopping them in transition. They were just coming at us, going one-on-one in space, and we really struggled. And then the reality of trying to keep Josh on the floor and Nick on the floor, finding a way without them fouling was a big concern.
That's a great call. That's a great call.
Just keeping them on the floor was the biggest concern to give us a chance. And then, obviously you got to be able to rebound out of it. And that was the biggest thing. I thought we did our job. I think it also got us back in the game. Saying that, it gave us a chance. But the reality is I thought we also play panic ball, like you said, and you take quick ones. It's tough. Yeah. It's tough. But I thought Oswin was huge. His offensive rebounds and his putbacks were game breakers for us.
It was so good.
Obviously, you're close with Hudson Greer. He's been seeing minutes sparingly. What's his role in this team going forward?
I think right now it's completely hard for Hudson because he's fighting through some adversity right now because the reality is when you're a freshman and you're playing in one possession games, the importance of every possession is tough. And the reality is he was played really well at the beginning, and then you get hurt, and that's nobody's fault. And now, we're in the mix of the Big East race, and you're playing a guy. Once we got continuity in our rotations, I think we were 3-0 when he came back and was available, and you kind of got a group of guys that were kind of playing well. So it's always tough, man. And I'm trying to stay with him, and I think our staff is doing a good job of letting him know like his moment is coming. But at the same time, as a kid, you're anxious. He's impacted some games early on for us, so it's hard, man. But I think Fedor's playing well. Blake Harper's obviously this last 4 or 5 games has kind of found his way. So it's kind of hard to find where's that mix and that balance. But Hudson's going to get an opportunity. I know it's coming.
Yeah, he'll get there. Hey, man, I know it's the longest flight of the year that you're about to get on that plane for. I hear the jacket's being zipped up.
Luckily for me, I got to stay here, I guess, if I'm lucky. But
oh, really?
Yeah, I'm hitting the road to recruit, so I'm missing
right.
this. But
there you go. That's always a long. I hear the jacket zipping up, like they're probably eyeballing you, like we got to get out of here. But but no, we'll let you out of here on this one. You're looking forward. Obviously, this is in a lot of ways, man, a must win if we wanted to kind of keep any at-large bid, hopes alive without having to beat UConn twice and probably St. John's. Like, that's just the reality of the situation now. How do we stay focused? How do we keep the guys engaged and understand, like, we still have a lot to play for?
I think I said it previously. I think the reality is we're 20 games in, and the mistakes, the mental lapses, the things that we emphasize going into games. I thought we had 2 or 3 possessions where we went in there and went off one leg and didn't show the ball. And I mean, this Providence team fouls more than anybody in our league. So we just got in there and played with pace and stopped. They were going to foul us. Yeah. So just things like that, just our carryover from our practice to preparation to executing. And I think we've had a healthy number of examples of why we have to do things a certain way, and we got to just get guys. I thought we did it for about, out of the 40-minute game, I think we did it for about 28 minutes. But the reality is you got to do it for the whole 40. So we just got to get the road. Yeah.
All right, Trey, we appreciate it. We'll let you get out to either the plane or recruiting or wherever you need to be, and we appreciate your time, man. Safe travels back.
Appreciate you guys.
Great assistant coach Trey Zeigler joining us here on the Coach's Corner presented by Sinovation Omaha. I mean, it just not a good night. I mean, yeah, there's a little bit of coach speak there from Trey because, I mean, you can only say what you could say without watching the film back, and obviously there's a lot of things to be fixed. But
yeah,
the great thing about this game is you always got a dog in the fight because there's still a chance of winning and finishing out in New York and earning your spot at this tournament. But Casey, I'm with you, man. It looks like,
but that's why I wanted to ask him.
The path to at large is pretty shut off.
And like Trey's very realistic, and I think there's a line of trying to do our jobs right.
Yeah,
ask questions, get coaches to talk about things, and then sometimes it's like stating the obvious. Like, the reality is now you've got to beat UConn and St. John's. And probably
that might not
realistically, probably 3 out of 3, but maybe 2 out of 3, depending on how everything else shakes out. And the problem is it's January 16th. Yeah. You've got a month and a half
There's a lot
to
of basketball
go.
left. Yeah.
And when and because players aren't dumb.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had some, but most of them aren't. And so
which ones?
Yeah. So there you go. You're doing your job.
Yeah.
But they know, and this becomes, how do we keep these guys motivated?
Yeah.
How do we keep them engaged in what we're trying to accomplish? How do we keep them believing that we can beat these teams or make a run in the conference tournament? And
that's kind of why I asked the question about Hudson too, because you've also got to balance some of these guys aren't going to be here next year, and all of us are of it all, right? Like there's also when do you start planning for the future? Because when you look at what's coming back next year, if you're able to get everybody back, get Jackson back healthy, you get Austin Swartz for another year, you get Hudson back for another year. That's a pretty good nucleus to build around. Like, it feels like those 3 guys, you put some pieces around them, could win you a lot of basketball games. They've been able to do it to some degree this year. It's got to be such a fine line to walk, because clearly you got to win for the guys that are in your locker room right now. And you got to finish out the season, and there still is that outside chance you could still make the tournament. But at some point you got to go, okay, do we start mortgaging the present for the future a little bit?
Well, you can't anime because of the transfer portal.
You don't know if they're going to be there. Sure,
absolutely. And one, you have people that are giving money, to put this team on the floor. Like, you have a lot of variables there. And then the other thing for this team is this max last year, and so you add that wrinkle into it. No, I absolutely don't think you can start thinking that way at all, because the crazy thing is, and I'm a Jays fan, so and I'm a Mac fan, and I believe in this team and I believe in him. But all that said, like, we have enough talent that it's not out of the realm of possibilities for us to do something crazy in Madison Square Garden.
Sure.
Look, I was on the staff that lost to Georgetown in the championship game. I don't think I've ever had a game where I went back to the hotel more in shock than that game. They had no business beating us, but they did.
Probably got Patrick Ewing a couple more years on his contract.
Oh, 100% it did. So, it's like when you just never know, and you have to play every game as hard as you can and just let the chips fall where they may. But we have enough talent that it's not out of the realm of possibilities. It's just you got to keep them together because sure, they're talented as individuals, but you're way better together. And that to me is the challenge that this team, and this coaching staff now faces is how do we keep these guys together? Because look, the schedule's not exactly going to get easier.
Right.
So, you still have
Seton Hall again. Still got to play Villanova again. You got to play UConn twice. Still got St. John's at their place.
Yeah. It's going to be, there's going to be some battles. And so what do we do? Right. If you just pack it up and say, well, it didn't work out this year. I mean, that's definitely not the way Mac's gonna ever run things, but especially when it could be, and I've said I think it is going to be his last year. Yeah. And we can have that conversation on another show of how that looks. But this is definitely a challenge now for this team. I'm just telling you, I know it sounds silly, but this flight back home is going to be brutal. It's the longest one of the year. And it sucks. I've made this fight too many times, and you're just
there hasn't been too many winning trips on this flight back. I mean that
no, it sucks, man. We always lose there. I hate that place. We did have a couple of comments tonight, Jimmy. We'll put this first one up there on Underboy Oswin. Was a different player after halftime. Very true.
What's Oswin's last name, Casey?
Urswanison. That's how you go.
Arunse.
Stamps tonight. I'm sorry. Yeah, exactly. Arunse. I am terrible. And you know what? I'm gonna. Is it too late to do New Year's resolutions? That's gonna be my resolutions. I'm gonna get better.
You're only 16 days into the year.
Yeah. Happy New Year, by the way, Jimmy.
Same to you.
But no, I am. That's gonna be my resolution for the last 11 and a half months of the year to get better with names. We also have Matt. Our guy, Matt, daytime soap opera, Matt. Jeez. Plot twist out of left field. Don't know what's going to come, but it probably won't make sense. I can't say that I disagree.
Man, that's pretty spot on, actually. Ept analysis, Matt.
Well, he's a four-time broadcaster of the year. Like he's going to put out some unbelievable messages. He knows what he's doing, but he's right. I mean, this team, you don't know what you're going to get, it seems like. And, when you get the Austin Swartz scoring 33 points, those are good nights. When you get the ones where he's scoring 6.
And listen, I think we hit the nail on the head on our last episode where we called him Jekyll and Hyde. Like this team has the offensive output to compete with anybody in the country. I truly believe that. It's the other stuff that it's just like, can you stop rebounds? Can you box out? Can you be physical enough tonight? Can you not dribble directly into traffic and turn the ball over and go the other direction? I mean, there's a lot of things that this team does well, but I mean, I don't think I can count on my fingers and my toes how many times we've said, why did you just go back and foul after you turned the ball over about the squad?
Yeah. And
it happened 3 times tonight. Not only it was a bad turnover, and then they went and made another bad mistake after that. And just a really undisciplined group tonight. Like, I think
that's a really good way to put it. Undisciplined in a lot of areas, and box outs, undisciplined.
That's not something you've been able to say about this program for a long time.
No, it's really not, and it's frustrating. It's frustrating as a fan. It's frustrating as somebody who understands the time that goes into preparation, and it certainly is not something that we're accustomed to seeing. I think the good news is you got Xavier coming home. That's a game that you absolutely should win, and you go to Marquette, which is a road game that we also could win. So it's this week could be a good for this. What is it? Because it's not till Tuesday, that one. So this next 10 days could be good for the Jays to get a little bit of rest, because you get a little bit longer break now till the Wednesday game, and then you don't play again until the following Tuesday, I believe.
And listen, you want to talk about things to play for. I mean, you still have a chance to play for a top 6 seed, not be one of the first few games of the Big East tournament. There's always that. So if you're looking for motivational things, there's obviously things to keep track of. Speaking of Marquette, though, they're obviously in Chicago tonight playing DePaul. They're leading 44-36 at halftime. So,
are they really?
Golden Eagles trying to pull off an upset in Chicago. But we'll be back with you following at halftime and following that Xavier game this week coming up at home. If you haven't liked and subscribed to Big East Energy yet, please do so. We'll be back, and another Creighton assistant coach will join us after that game. We'll also be back on Monday with our weekly show as well. Thanks for watching the Roll Jays podcast. Like and subscribe to Big East Energy tonight. We'll see you next time. Roll Jays.